Hello, this is Bungalow Bill, and welcome to From the Depths once again. Today, we will be going back into the campaign mode to face off against our bitter rivals, including our self-proclaimed nemesis, Captain Sal. Here we have the Ra, which we will look at one last time before I deconstruct it in order to build the surface fleet, as well as perhaps an additional airship or two. Let's get right into things. Well, when I click Load Campaign, I am immediately brought up with this menu. So our first order of business is actually going to be a little bit of a fight. We've got a Lynx Squadron and a Retribution, fighting off against a Skate and a Locust. I am planning on deconstructing both of these vehicles, but I do need to get through this fight first. I don't think I've taken a look at the Lynx in a long time, but a lot of the smaller enemy vehicles look pretty similar to me. I definitely grabbed the missile instead of the aircraft there. We'll just enjoy its route instead, I guess. Without pausing, it's going to be really hard for me to grab the Lynx like that. Retribution, though, way easier. Can look at my craft, a little bit of damage to the Skate. That hit made me lose my grip on the Retribution for some reason. I haven't been paying enough attention to the Skate, which is quite a dangerous proposition. These water skimmers are practically suicidal. We're going to have our radar missiles going one way, and our remote-guided missiles going another. Our remote-guided missiles are likely going to go for smaller targets. Not quite enough range to get there. Once these vehicles go out of control, it is very hard to keep up with them. Took me a while to lock on to that. Wonderful. Let's pull these vehicles. Still got a lot of vehicles to fight through though, so I might not be able to deconstruct my crafts here until I have some replacements. The Ra is going to return to be deconstructed, but we already have enough resources here to start building the next fleet. So I'm going to get to that first. I don't understand why this build menu takes so long. So we're going to build a few displacement craft. The Elephant. The Lungfish is just about as pretty as it sounds. And actually, that'll probably be sufficient until we get additional resources from deconstructing the Ra, but then I'm going to build some additional displacement craft after that. We're going to build a few additional Thundershocks and 2 versions of the Dandelion. I'll let those build for a little bit. Now, I did take a quick look off camera earlier, and there's actually a pretty fantastic, well, except for the trade fleets, I found a fairly fantastic diversity of different ships that the Deepwater Guard had made. I'm accustomed to just seeing a bunch of flying squirrels or a bunch of one ship or a bunch of the other, but here we actually have quite an interesting variety. So I'm going to enjoy fighting them because there's a lot of stuff that I don't see very commonly. So the Elephant is a cram vehicle, and we're going to bring it in for some fights against the Steel Striders. It's relatively big, so I think it'll be interesting to have there. The Lungfish is a much smaller craft, and I'm going to bring it down to fight against the Deepwater Guard. It's very balanced in that it uses lasers, missiles, and high-speed APS. APS Blimp Cram. I could have named that a little bit better. I removed the APS turret from the Dandelion with Cram for that one. So I'm going to bring a few of these vehicles down for the... Oh, I grabbed the Thundershock. Or one of the Thundershocks. Well, I'll move that down. I want to move the Cram Blimp down as well.
Moving out.
I'll put this on a resource zone eventually. We'll start intruding on the Deepwater Guard. That'll provoke them to engage some of these vehicles. Now, pretty soon there's going to be a lot of fast forwarding. There's going to be a lot of capturing. Well, I'll wait for the enemies to attack me, although they seem quite ready to attack me in general, so maybe not that much waiting. We have filled these way over allotment, but the Thundershocks might actually want to keep full materials because they have a very, very heavy resource burn when they're in battle. Those steam engines are just going to chug materials. So this will be an interesting test to see if they actually have enough resources on board or not. Usually for the cost of 30,000, I'd consider 15,000 quite a lot, but I don't tend to use lasers or other energy weapons on these sorts of cheap craft.
Moving out.
So it's a little bit of a new experience for me. And the Locust does use energy weapons, but it is a bit more fuel efficient and it's way lower power. I'm not sure if the Lungfish will properly target nukes and that sort of thing, because I don't think I've given them a second anti-aircraft AI to do so. Well, we've started encroaching on enemy territory. As is always the case, save your campaign. And let's get to it. Now, I don't want to kill them that quickly because I need to draw some time to the council meeting. But we're going to see a lot of vehicles approaching me on both fronts, so we should still get enough combat anyway. The Snapjaw against the other Dandelion I think will be a good fight cost-wise. This may actually be an issue. I'm not sure, despite our generous attack range, we're going to be able to get there in time to get a real interceptor to fight. Looks like we might make it. Just barely. Oh, it might not actually give it to us. No, we got there. Oh, we had 2 beetles. We probably would have been fine. I thought we only had 1. Still, I don't know if these can really fight back against the Garnets. That is what they're called, right? Oh, the Gannet Squadron. My pitch control may have some issues. Oh, we're just going to a high height. I should have this not pitched to maintain altitude. That's actually a serious... Well, it looks like we're getting some good laser damage in. I'll examine this problem later. Yeah, this is a problem with the way my lasers are designed. We can't actually engage these high targets with them. To keep the turret really small, I didn't make them pitch up. This means that they only have a 37-degree firing arc. We cannot see this as soon as it goes underwater. It should rise up a little bit once we chop the exhaust off. It won't have as much thrust pushing it down. Trying to shoot this one little block above water is not the best either. Alright, we got there.
Listening.
That was a short fight, but our material burn was not terrible. Man, they have not grouped these up at all. I'm not sure if that's because I've not grouped my vehicles up either.
Listening.
Although I've just started to do that to build them into fleets a little bit more. I'm not sure how old the design the snapshot is, but to me it looked like a pretty old design the last time I saw it. So we've already seen my vehicle, but let's look at the snapshot. I think we've already seen that as well. It's got the animal eyes. We of course miss it immediately with our missiles as it sinks down. It's done a little bit of damage to us, but it won't do that much, and it's deep water guard, so we should find it pretty explosive. I think we fought one of these with a beetle earlier. Or maybe two beetles. This will destroy it considerably faster. Also, this Hesh could just detonate it depending on where it gets hit. It looks like the snapshot has lost ammo. 77%. I imagine these are spin blocks. I wonder if this was built before Deady Blades. Couldn't be, right? Well, I don't know.
Listening.
We will pick up our winnings.
Moving out.
The Reaper has not engaged one of my vehicles yet. 85,000.
Listening.
We'll put it against 2 Thundershocks for a slight resource disadvantage.
Listening.
I'm not sure if the issue with my altitude control in the Thundershock earlier was due to the thrust, or was it due to it pitching up to get to the altitude that it wanted. It looks like it's very intentionally pitching, though. Although I don't see anything actually set to give them pitch, so I don't know exactly what's doing that. That's an interesting effect. Is there smoke? We might actually lose this. Oh, we took some pretty bad missile fire here. Oh man. Yeah, that just destroys our wooden sections. One of the big problems with having this much wood is that you're going to get to the very damaged and despawning state pretty quickly, despite not actually taking a huge amount of damage. So, it looks like I have some severe issues with having my roll only be in these wings. I thought having a little bit of lightweight alloy around it would be good enough. It does look like once this splashes down, it's able to fight adequately. But we can't quite compensate for a fully ruptured tank like that.
Listening.
So there might be a little bit more work and battle testing needed in that regard. So I should probably keep a skate around here.
Moving now.
I kind of feel like I should also engage the Saber. But it's kind of far out here. And I don't want to get dragged into Twin Guard territory. Oh, I interrupted this, so it's going to do that capture now, probably.
Receiving.
We'll do this fight. Less risk of going out into Twin Guard territory. Hopefully we'll get a few hits with her. When we're shooting at those flares. Hopefully we'll get a few hits with our cannons. Our skate is not in trouble yet. We're having a lot of trouble hitting this death spinning retribution. Well, I missed it while it was fighting. Looks like a helicopter, though. We've taken a little bit of incoming fire. Looks like most of those missiles got intercepted. We took a little bit of damage, scraped some wood off. These are hard to hit with these shells. They're not a super slow shell, but the slight surplus of 400 meters per second is not quite cutting it in this regard. So this is my mistake of not bringing in laser craft in every single fight. Skate's at 95%. I was checking because I was worried it was very dead. We are launching some number of flares, so we have that going for us to mitigate some damage, but they're not the best flares, so just depending on how the enemy launches their missiles, we won't be able to do anything about them. Alright, that could not have been it, because we are still in combat. Oh dear, I may have both of my vehicles set to not fight this. Oh, our failsafe is probably stopping us from shooting at it. I don't know why we're sinking back so far. I know I did accidentally make this a little bit more tail heavy than I wanted to. But it shouldn't be that bad.
Moving now. Moving now.
Alright, looks like we've got a fight with a cyclone coming up. Now that means that I have to locate my torpedo bomber.
Moving out.
It's my only vehicle here that can actually fight the cyclone. I don't outfit too many vehicles with torpedoes because there's the problem that, well, torpedoes can't hit very many things. I might do this with two vehicles, just so that the cyclone has something else to shoot at, because the torpedo bomber might not have good enough defenses to do this. However, the elephant is going to do absolutely nothing except launch flares. That is its entire life's mission right now. It might also be required to provide us with a little bit of... Okay, we should not be going upside down. To provide us with a little bit of detection. Now, I did originally set this thing up with these azipods so that it would be capable of doing a bank and yank like that, but when I was testing it out, I was not able to get the AI to actually do it. Well, it's certainly going to try. Oh, we are not going to be able to fight off these kinds of torpedoes. We're going to take a lot of damage. Although, now it was doing it. So 240,000. Quite a lot of missiles. We'll probably take a fair amount of damage. We do have torpedo defenses, but they may not be able to handle that. You can see our interceptors racking up some damage. Alright, here comes in our first wave of torpedoes. We took off some decorations. Took the cyclone down to 99%. Looks like it has underwater sea whiz. Looks like the defensive countermeasures from both parties are working pretty well, so this might be a bit of a long fight. Also, if we fly over land or something, we should be... Okay, the land's pretty far away. We could drop our torpedoes over land, which would be a bit of a problem. We're tickling it with our crams. We do have sonar, I guess, so we can see it. We're not getting the best damage in through these defenses, but it is something. With these vertical launch missiles, if they arm their guidance too early, they can be quite vulnerable to our vertically launched distraction. Because they'll see the distraction before the craft, and missiles are more sensitive to what's in the middle of their cone of view. Yeah, these are a lot of anti-torpedo defenses. Fortunately, we got very good damage through there, and we're still sitting healthy at 100%. Well, the cyclone's slowly getting shipped out. I don't think we've done any good damage to knock anything offline. Although, it's looking like it may be lacking its underwater sea whiz now. That was fairly minor to begin with. I don't have enough perspective on real-life submarines to know if having a command bridge on a submarine is something that actually happened. Because all the photos of them that I've seen just have conning towers instead. It looks like our large torpedoes are having trouble getting here, partially because of speed, and partially because I might have a buoyancy depth set on them. Still, we're not so deep, so that shouldn't be much of a concern. Well, the high explosive is finally starting to get through some of this armor. It's taking a long time, though. And since I'm not using Hesh, or something that can really burrow through, we really have to get through all of the armor. Oh yeah, it's a fuel issue, I think. We did finally hit with one of them, though. Cyclone's slowing. I haven't fought these craft enough to actually know if they'll surface or not once they take engine damage. In the past, when I've fought submarines from the Steel Striders, I have just shot down at them with railguns from thruster craft or airships or that sort of thing. I've rarely actually used torpedoes against them. This is much slower than the railgun approach, but our ship that's actually able to hit this is not that expensive, and the Cyclone does have reasonable torpedo defenses. It's also fairly bulky. There goes the command bridge. That's no longer healthy atmosphere to breathe. Yeah, there's something wrong with our large torpedoes. Oh man, once they start taking cramp cannon fire, it's not going to be great, but that large amount of explosive damage makes me think that we might have ruptured their ammo. I believe that is enough from the depths for one video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit one of the dopamine buttons down below. I hope to see you again soon.